Cue the iCarly intro.
There is a monastery where a group of strangers became best friends. This monastery is a safe haven, a place between places. It is a place where anyone can enter and feel like they belong. It is a place where the injured can find refuge and become healed. It is a place where weaknesses are shared and are made stronger. It is a light in even the darkest of plains, and anyone can stay as long or as short as they'd like and not have to worry about being judged. They come here when they need to, when it calls to them. But the Monasterium Tempore is not just a place, it's an idea. That anyone can be who they want to be, live out a dream that they want to, and no one can take that away from them. It's a place where magic feels more real than anywhere else. It's a place where a girl who was hurting and scared was able to find a friend and play a game that would change her life forever. For good. This place is heaven. Welcome to the monastery. All right, well, welcome.
Hello.
There we go.
Hello.
We did it. We are live. Welcome to the monastery.
I am sorry.
Yes, Saranth.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and it's me, Mortem, again, because Winston does not like to come to these meetings.
Why is that? Did he ever tell you?
He's always said that he's busy working on other things, so just let him go. Sure, it's something important.
Mm-hmm. And I am Elena, a member of the monastery. This is Mortem's monastery, so for those, I guess, who've never heard of us or have no idea what we're doing here, Mortem, do you want to just be in charge of the intro of who you are, who we are?
Sure, I can do that. Hello, my name is Mortem. Me and my brother Winston run the monastery. Run the Monasterium Tempore, a monastery about life, death, change, peace, not peace. I got the five wrong. I got the five wrong.
Oh no!
It's
Mercy.
time. Nope, not that's the okay. Life.
Okay, life.
Time. Change. Mercy. Death. There we go. So that's basically what it's about. If you want to learn more, ask questions, and I will try and answer them. But for now, that's who I am. Sitting right next to me is Zaranth, who works in the monastery and sells a few magic items here and there. And then to my other side is Elena, who also is a part of the monastery and teaches occasionally.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I was a teacher for a time, and then decided it wasn't for me.
Mm-hmm.
That I wanted to go on adventures. Yeah, teaching wasn't my thing. Like I was like in my eyes, it just felt like retirement. That I was done going on adventures and I was teaching the next group. But I wasn't ready to give up, going out into the world and discovering things. So I told Mortem, and Mortem was very nice. You were very polite about it. You were very supportive.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, because there's no reason for you to stay here if it's not happy. So now you go do that, and then when you feel like it, you can teach as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Ranth, do you teach or are you more like a shop?
I do both. I teach on occasion.
Hmm.
I can do private lessons if one, and I happen to have the time.
You have to pay extra for the private lessons, I think.
No, I tried to do that, but I was told off like a child.
Yes. He will not pay for no student will pay for his lessons. I will pay for him to give lessons if they ask and are promising students.
As long as I get the money.
Yep.
So where are we right now, Mortem? Where is this meeting taking place? For those who don't
This
know.
meeting place is taking place inside the Astral Sea at a stone table with comfy stone chairs.
One wouldn't expect stone chairs to be as comfortable as they are, but
True.
surprises abound.
Mine swivels.
Mhm. Yep. So.
No, if I had it my way, I would have brought in my orange bean bag. But this is Mortem's room, so this feels more professional or more, I don't know, feels different. It's good.
Yeah. It's slightly more professional than us using like a beanbag chair and a couch or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Futon.
Which I might eventually have to move this room to somewhere else so that way everyone's not walking into my room before they get to the meeting room.
That'd be a good idea. Where would you put it?
Probably next to the library.
That'd be a good spot. Yeah, so we're uh I always say this, we don't know what we're doing. Because
Yep.
every day is something new of what we're trying to do here. We're trying to create a story in the simplest terms, and we do that through our characters, which is who we are in these podcasts. And yeah, we invite you to come to our Discord and play the play by post and become part of what we do. Be part of the story, which I feel is so unique that you can interact, I guess, with something that you are a fan of. So, like, you watch a YouTube channel that you love, but you only comment, in the comments. But with us, you can come talk to us. You can interact with our characters, and you can create stories with us.
Yeah, so we recently went to Loxodol, which is my home place, and how many people died?
Today? Was it
Yes,
today?
Oh yeah, today.
Thrall and Kage, I believe.
Yeah.
And Winston, yes, but
Winston,
they got into confrontation with some hooligans who had some stolen weaponry, and when they attempted to attack them because whatever reason they gave, I don't remember. And it doesn't matter because now they were killed by the guards.
Oh yes, Loxodol. What a great place.
Yes, it's a great place. You can be arrested for breathing. It's amazing.
It's amazing. So let's do some quick updates on what we're trying to do, I guess, with this, and then like what we've done, and then we'll go to the Loxodol update, And then we'll do like a bunch of spoilers, so anybody listening can either decide whether or not they want to know what's going on with the characters right now. Because we've made this story, we've written this story for over 4 to 6 months now, and we are compiling it, and we're trying to get it out there, but it's a lot. Because
Working on it slowly.
yeah, like we've been playing it almost every day. Yeah, I'll just say that, almost every day. Which adds up to, however many posts an hour, and then in the full day you get like all these great adventures that happen and moments that we want to share and preserve and get out there. And so what we've done so far, what Elena has done today, I've gotten the beginning, everything up until when I entered the inn, which is really cool to look back and see. Mortem, you entered the inn. You were first out of all of us here.
Mm-hmm.
And then Saranth, you entered and met Mortem.
Yeah.
And then you met a few other people. And then it gets crazy. But yeah. So what is to come from all of this is there will eventually be a story that you can listen to, read, be a part of, because it's still going. It's like a D&D campaign. Endlessly. Well, not endlessly.
Not endlessly. We do have a due date.
Yeah, explain that.
Not everyone does.
Except for Saranth.
Saranth never dies.
Saranth never dies.
Ooh. Okay, thought of a plot twist, but we'll see if that happens.
What?
So we are going to keep doing this because the monastery is on a time limit of a total of 100 years, but basically 90 years have already passed, or technically 91 years at this point. And then on November 14th, 2030, both Mortem, Winston, Elena, and a bunch of the students at the monastery, as well as anyone else who officially joins the monastery, will die, and the cycle will begin anew.
Why would someone do that, Mortem?
Enlighten
us.
Well,
that seems silly. Why would anyone do that? Just kidding. But go ahead.
Well, various reasons, but the monastery provides a way for its students to learn new things and to be shown mercy when they have not been shown mercy so far.
I'll add to the time, though, why there's a deadline.
Please do.
Yeah, the I guess the basis of it is we take every second for granted, but what if we knew like how much time was left, that quote that you used, Mortem. The idea of having Centrum Annorum, which is in our world, means 100 years. And it ends and restarts anew so that you know when it's over, I guess. So like in D&D, okay, breaking the fourth wall here. In D&D, you have a character and you can play them really whenever you want. You can bring them up in 5 years and 10 years and, whenever you're like, hey, you know what? I really want to get back into this and I'm going to pick up this character again. It's going to be so fun. Centrum Annorum, we're playing it if you decide to die, that your character is done. They are officially retired. They are gone. You can't get them back. And what it has at least allowed me to do is to play out my character in a way that I want to get the most out of every second between now and 9 years, 62 days, 3 hours, 5 minutes, and 1 second from now.
As of this recording.
Yes. So knowing that I only have so much time left to play this character makes me want to take advantage of all those moments and do things that I wouldn't normally do if I didn't have a time limit. Because there's always tomorrow. Oh, you can always bring up this conversation later. Oh, you could always, go see that person or have a meal with someone later. But what if you don't get later? So yeah, that's my 2 cents on the timeline.
And that was a good insight.
Yeah.
It's not required. If you come to the server, you don't have to participate in this Centrum Annorum thing if you don't want to. Strength, for example, me, I don't participate in it. I'm only a teacher at the monastery. I haven't officially joined.
Yeah. It is just an option that is given. You do not have to take it.
Yep. But once you take it, there's no take backs.
Yeah. It is quite literally a lifetime decision. And if you take it and then it's one of the if you regret it later, that's
it's too bad. That's life's consequences, right? There's consequences. So which is another thing we teach.
Yep. Because time must move forward.
Yes, Saranth, you will never die. And I love that.
I'm too rich to die.
That's right.
Anyways, is this a good time to go into spoiler territory?
Oh,
is there
yes.
that we want to do?
No, let's go ahead. Let's jump into spoiler territory. We can do the Locks It All update as well. Because we've got some fun stuff to talk about today.
All right. Spoiler territory. So if you would like to just jump into the server and figure out a lot of this stuff on your own rather than have us tell it to you, now would be the time to jump off. We do have a Twitter and the Discord if you would like to join and follow us there. So go ahead and do that.
Awesome.
But if that is not your cup of tea, then Loxodol today had 2 major updates. The first one being that it invested more money into general R&D, be it public or private or government. This has resulted in a lot of breakthroughs that have overall improved quality of life for everyone. Income has risen, health has risen, GDP has risen. Pretty much everything is better because there are just cooler things on the streets to help everybody do their day-to-day lives.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it's actually a funny story. So a neighboring nation has calculated the digits of pi up to, I believe, I don't even remember. It was just, they smashed the old record by orders of magnitude. Like, they had supercomputers running for this. Like, they wanted that world record. But one of the government's lead scientists came up and said, "Hey, this is great and all, national pride and stuff, but we have no funding, please." And surprisingly, Loxodol took some pennies out of their tight-fisted hands and funded research.
Wow.
So this was coincidentally at the same time, the death rate, the reason for death of everybody is it's noted. We know how people die, and for the first time, 4% of the population, less than 4% of the population has died to old age or complications due to advanced age. So this has brought up some backlash regarding people believing that Loxodol doesn't care enough, or that they need to like help work conditions and make healthcare a little more affordable. But we have refused to answer. We haven't refused. We just haven't answered yet. We're deciding what we must say to ensure that our opinions and ideals are accurately represented. Now, one economics expert who has requested to remain anonymous has said that if you don't think your healthcare is good enough, then quit your job and get a new one where your healthcare is better, and where you get some healthcare from your employers. Or if you think your work conditions are bad, then quit your job and go get a new job where work conditions aren't as bad. That's good, right? Yeah. Good idea. Sound good?
Who would think to do that? No one would think to do.
Yeah. In all reality, though, this isn't a possibility for most people. It's just not plausible. Yeah, it's just not plausible for them to just quit their jobs on a whim just because they don't think it's good at the moment. Because finding a new job is going to be difficult, even with all the job fairs everywhere. But the other issue is, there are no jobs with good healthcare or good work conditions. It's like trying to find a fairy. It's not gonna. But that's a secret.
I love the Loxodol updates. My favorite has so far been the national anthem.
Oh yes, the national anthem.
They came out with 2 of them.
Could I talk about that?
Yes, please do. Yeah. It's so good.
So, recently, the Loxodol national anthem has been it has been created. It exists now. The government has ended up sparing no expenses in creating the best national anthem possible. So they ended up making 2. One of which was a simplified version that was going to be sung inside like schools or chanted at a swordball game or something of that I don't know what the right word is. Something similar. And there's another like official version which is going to be used basically just at orchestras and maybe at like expensive parties where an orchestra of adequate size can be hired. It's a 30-minute long rendition, and it involves a really big orchestra. The government has spared no expenses into making sure that everybody knows, just by listening to the first thing that just by listening to the Loxodol song, that Loxodol is better than them and everybody that they know. So just to hammer that fact in, inside the metadata for the songs, both of which can be run as a program. Yeah, they can be run as a program and display various Loxodolian facts, such as date of founding, motto, historical leaders, and more. And if you do so with the orchestral version, then you get bonuses such as illustrations, a chiptune variant of the music, and a functional copy of the Oregon Trail.
I love that.
Okay.
Come to Loxodol.
Come to Loxodol.
This message was sponsored by the Loxodol Tourist Edition.
I freaking love it because I don't understand it, like all of it. I don't understand how your world works, like where you get these updates if you make them up or if they're actual. Because you've shown me pie charts of like the death rates.
Oh yeah, let's see what
highest
see
cause
what the
of
death rate is right now.
Let's just get that number. If you want to learn more, you gotta come. You gotta come to Loxodol.
Yeah, you gotta come.
Mm-hmm.
Come to our server. We have cookies.
We have cookies. We accept cookies.
And coffee.
Coffee's good too.
Mm-hmm.
All right. While you're pulling up the data for the highest death rate in Loxodol.
Oh no, I have it up right now.
Oh, you do? Okay, what is it?
Disappearance.
That's the highest. What's the percentage?
31%.
People die.
People die when they die.
Disappear.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I want to know if any research has been done. I'll have to ask Saranth about it in the chat. I want to ask. Oh man. Okay, so let's get to some spoilers of some stuff that's been going on this week.
Yep.
We've got the Loxodol trip that's going on right now. We've got some people that are what is it? What Mortem, I know that Winston isn't here right now. But do you keep tabs on him? Do you know what he's been up to? Or Saranth, do you have updates with your newspaper of what's been going on in the streets today?
Oh yeah, the Daily News channel. It is the newspaper.
Oh, that is the newspaper.
Let's see. Winston sends me messages every once in a while, keeping me updated on a few things that he works on. Right now he's currently in Loxodol, hanging out for a little bit, not working on projects. That's all he's really. He was at the Manor, which is another place you can go to on our server. He had an interesting encounter, from what he told me.
Yeah, both Winston and Saranth last night. What?
Oh yes, them. They stole from me. They could have asked night.
You stole from them first.
Well, they were mean.
Okay, so there was a cleric who came into the manor asking for help. And
oh yes,
Winston and Saranth were like, okay. You know, Saranth was like, this sounds like a trap.
Yeah, it sounds like a trap. And then they said, oh, my friend, yes, he's very wealthy. He can pay you. And then I should have just cut her head off right then and there. but I didn't. And I don't regret it. I don't possess that weakness of character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you guys went out and you went to go wherever she was leading you. And then this cleric decided to attack you guys instead, or Winston and Zaranth.
Yeah.
And it turned very bad for the cleric. Very fast.
Yes, because Winston is very capable of handling himself.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And my amulet doubles as a giant claw for grappling people who deserve to be grappled.
So let's talk about that, because dang, okay, you use that as a big B's hand, basically, to grab this cleric, and she couldn't move, she couldn't break out of it, and then she tried to cast spells, and Winston would just counterspell her. So all of a sudden, it went from she was running to she couldn't run anywhere. And she got pretty desperate. She was calling out for help. Winston and Zaranth were debating whether or not to kill her, I believe. I know Winston was very much on the fence about it, and Zaranth was trying to help her as soon as she gave him everything.
Oh, I wasn't planning to help her, no.
I figured not.
I just wanted to know if she had like some sort of extra dimensional space or something hidden somewhere that I could take it. She tried to hurt me. She hurt my beautiful scale.
She did. She did.
Mm-hmm.
She did necrotic damage first. You were invisible, but it's a inflict wounds is a touch attack, so she was already holding her tail. So she was able to just injure you. Then Winston, let's see, Zaranth, you tried to attack her, but she avoided. She made the save, whatever the save was.
Yes, it was for my dragon fear feat, because I'm very scary.
Yes. And then Winston did a shadow dragon roar. And that hurt her a lot. And then she bit Winston with her fangs.
Yep.
Yeah. And then she tried running. And then that's when everything went downhill.
She bit Winston and it was ineffective. The only thing that damaged him was the bite itself.
Yep, so then Winston, you cast Feeble Mind on her. Or I guess wherever Winston is at, cast Feeble Mind on her.
Yeah, it was Feeble Mind.
Yep, Winston did do that. Finally got that spell to go off.
Yep, and you guys went back to the manor.
And I was okay, fine. Winston decided to show up. I was going to talk to her, but someone showed up.
Bitch.
Yeah. It's like I even unlocked something for her. So, and I don't know how I feel about that yet.
Yeah, Winston was trying to... Man, should I just bring in Leora? Frick. And just talk in that person? No, I won't. Winston, you were trying to Greater Restoration her to get her out of Feeble Mind, because you'd put her on the throne and you used the throne itself to hold her arms down, I believe.
Yes, because it's made out of iron.
Yes. So she was trapped, and then you were trying to... She'd passed out, because I was like, yeah, she's just gonna pass out. And then you saw two walls of resistance in her mind of two things that Greater Restoration could work on. And you chose one of them, and we were going to pause then and there. And one of our friends, her friend, is in a different time zone. And so he showed up, and we played for a lot longer than I anticipated, which was so worth it. So Catcher is his name. Catcher shows up and is like, release her. Offers you some coffee.
Some really good coffee, if I do say so.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have me craving coffee.
It was really good coffee. It was in a flask, and it was bottomless. So I could take as much as I wanted, even though I didn't take that much.
Typically, bottomless things don't taste very good.
True, but this one did.
Yep, and then they were going to leave. They were trying to leave, Catcher and this cleric who Catcher called Elle. And that's what Winston and Saranth know her by, I suppose. And they were going to leave, and Winston, I think you might have cast Banishment. I'm not sure what you were trying to cast.
I think it was Banishment.
Yeah.
Winston
on
knows
both
Banishment.
of them.
He was trying to like hurry up. Yeah, he was trying to hurry up the process because they were taking way too long.
And Zaranth, you tried to cast. Well, you cast Frighten, or you were trying to frighten them.
Didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it worked on Catcher, who didn't seem very frightened.
Yep, because frightened, it just means you don't approach. Like, you have disadvantage on stuff, but you don't need to get any closer to them. And so they left, and as a parting gift, Zaranth decides to shoot a firebolt at Catcher. So Catcher stabs at Zaranth, misses, and then Leora bites Zaranth with a nat 20.
I'm still pissed about that. It had to crit in order to hit. Even crit didn't beat my AC.
Yep. And yep. Yeah, so they left. Winston, what did you think about her religion?
I mean, if I see her again, she probably won't live. So
yeah, somebody is gonna die if we see her again. It's probably not gonna be us.
Yeah.
Like, we would have been happy to help. If there was actually somebody hurt, then we would have been, oh yeah, here you go. I have cure wounds. It looks like a dagger, and it's going to hurt like a dagger, but it's not a dagger.
Plus the whole looking for immortality, basically. It's a big no now.
I just realized that we hate her for different reasons.
Yep.
You guys do.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Unrelated reasons.
Yeah.
Everybody does. Everybody hates her for different reasons, I've noticed. But yes, yep. There is a line. I'll say that.
And she has crossed it.
No, a line for people who want to kill her.
Oh.
There is a line. So when you're like, I'm going to kill her, get in line.
Yeah.
There's a line.
Yep. Well, hopefully, maybe Winston will move up that list quickly, depending on how bored he gets.
Yeah. That's what's great about the server is you can bring in characters that all of a sudden change what someone else might be doing and be invested in. And that's how we started was we were initially in this inn that nothing really bad could happen, where you couldn't die in the inn, like you couldn't get injured, you couldn't even use higher level spells, like you could only use cantrips and small abilities. And then it developed into there was some risk all of a sudden, and we just got swallowed up in the conflict.
Mm-hmm.
Because conflict brings you together.
That is true.
Yes.
Conflict is good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
You can't have a good story without conflict. And that is why we're here now. Because we can actually create adventures and stories with people.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah. Yeah, we were a part of a different server where we all met in an inn, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
then it developed into a story that eventually turned into people didn't want that story in that server, which was fine because it's their server, and that's okay because we figured out what we liked. And we decided to make our own server and continue the story with the same characters and the same backstories and the same things that, you know, just continuing the story because we like our characters and we're not done playing them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So now we're continuing that story and making more.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Hopefully we will get one of the stories out. Malloy's story out. I'm hoping for this week. That would be nice. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, it's hard because we don't know what we're doing and we're just kind of helping each other like push forward and make this, and there's no guideline for how to do it. Like, you know, you buy a franchise and here's how to set up your little one-stop shop, you know, here you go. It's not like that. We're literally discovering this as we go and asking each other, what do you think about this? What's your idea of this? Oh, well, let's try that, you know.
Yeah, because what we're doing is kind of unique even within our D&D, within the D&D community, because most people don't do something like what we do of make a radio play, I guess would be the closest comparison to what we're trying to do, because that's kind of gotten out of style overall. But I hope it'll work.
Mm-hmm. It'll work. It will work. Because Mortem, you've set up this world in the monastery for us that we know there's a deadline. We know that the end for the monastery reset, at least there is an end. And the time line that you follow is our real world time. So even though we might be having a conversation in our post by post that's 5 minutes long in the game, in real world, like the clock keeps going, and regardless of what our characters are doing, like if we're doing initiative is a great example because, you know, a 1 minute of initiative can be hours long in real life, but the clock doesn't change. So we can't pause the clock.
Nope. And if you figure out how to pause the clock, stop it.
Please stop.
Yeah, I will find you and then resume the clock.
That's right. I think it was Scorch did time stop once in the monastery.
Oh yeah.
Several
Winston
times, actually,
was
twice. Yeah. Twice.
Pissed.
Yes.
Winston was pissed when that happened.
So we
I
should.
mean, he gets pissed with everything.
Yeah, Winston does. I don't know. So what do you guys want to talk about, right? Because we could talk about literally anything. We could talk about our favorite stories. We could just talk about what we like about our own characters. I don't know what we're doing here.
I could talk about how great I am.
Let's talk about Saranth here for a moment, okay?
Yeah, but okay.
Oh, what was that, Mortem?
What? That was Winston who said that.
Was it Winston?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he popped in for a second.
Well, he better stop. I'm podcasting.
Winston, you can be in two places at once. How is that possible?
Well, magic.
Yes, right.
How are you going to find out? Come to the server and then talk to him.
Yep.
Maybe you'll find out that way.
Yep.
I feel like that this is just one really big ad.
It really is. Come to our server.
Yeah.
And it's a good ad.
It's a great ad. Okay, like I know because we are and Cathral, we're all the ones that have like kept this alive for so long. So we know so many secrets about each other. It's so good that we've like made that bond so early to not like disclose stuff, I guess. Like we care about each other. Like I've made the, forever am I bound promise to my friends, which are not my family, which are Mortem, Winston, Saranth. And that's it, as far as those that are repeatedly in our server. Yeah, and so we all kind of have this agreement that we definitely watch out for each other. I remember there was so I had a conversation with Saranth where we wanted to make our friendship like a friendship for real. Not trying to friend zone you, frick.
Wink, wink.
Not again. And you're like, I just got friend zoned. But we decided we were gonna look out for each other and that you were gonna basically not turn on Mortem and Winston. And then there was much later down the road when, was it Liad or Scorch? One of those guys that he plays was like, yeah, your name's gotten out, Elena. Like, a bunch of devils know about you because someone's told a secret. And unfortunately, like, our first thoughts were, was it Saranth? Like, did Saranth, like, rat us out? Because there's no one else that would do this. Like, who would do that? Mm-hmm. And Saranth, you were, like, so adamant, like, no, you did not do that. Like, you wouldn't sell out secrets of the monastery like that. Like, mm-hmm. Ones that are so sacred, basically. So that was like, yes, we all have each other's backs. Like, like we do, like if Saranth, mm-hmm. You guys are so capable, but if you ever needed Elena, like she would be there, be like, I got your back.
Yeah. I was like, don't forget, Elena is also capable too. And I want to say Mortem has reached out, but Mortem is going to reach out to Elena first, probably 90% of the time at this point.
Right. That sounds reasonable.
Probably closer to like 95%. But still. Yeah. It's like neither of the brothers, especially Winston, would not give out any secrets of the monastery.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Nope. And just us in general, like as friends, like we understand what our characters are doing, and like we don't go the second like Mortem's out of the room. Okay, let me tell you like what he does. Like
Right.
we don't do that. We're not that kind of server friendship, right? It's like we
Mhm.
understand the depths of our backstories and our the things that go on in the monastery and the things that go on outside the monastery
Mhm.
and who knows where. Like maybe not everything. Obviously, we can't know everything. Everyone's got secrets.
Yep.
Right.
But there are big secrets that we do know that we keep because that's what you do.
Right. I think everybody has just some egregious secret they don't want told.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yep.
Well, maybe egregious isn't the right word, but it's a secret that we
Word
don't
of the
want.
day.
Yeah. Everyone has at least one big secret that they don't want to get out.
Mm-hmm. Oh man. And there's still so much that we don't know and that we haven't done yet. We have so much. There's so many things that we got to do. Saranth, you have this idea that you brought up last week. You're like, oh, we got to go do something. I have this plan. I'm gonna send it. And then you went to go try to find Elena. You went to try to find me. But I've been missing for like a week. It's very odd. And
Yeah.
Mortem
Yeah, you were
too.
gone.
What the heck?
Yep.
Where'd they go?
Where'd they go? Oh wow, they went on a honeymoon because they got married, and they've just been like, "What's going on with them? Do I know? Nope, I don't know exactly what they're doing 24/7, and I'm fine with that."
I just realized that we haven't told Saranth.
Yeah, he's pissed.
Nope. The only yeah, the only person that knows is Winston at this point.
Technically, Scorch and Crest, if we let them be part of that canon,
Mm-hmm.
if we wanted them to see it and they know about it, but they haven't been like telling people and
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, and Scorch just goes wherever he wants. He's cool.
he does. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got his demi plane with his girl, Angel Death Wrath. He apparently died today. Saw that on the death list. Was like,
Yeah,
what?
it's like, excuse me, what?
You can't die, buddy. So
He'll
Wrath's gonna do something.
he'll be back.
Oh,
Scorch won't
yes.
die for long.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, this week Scorch said that he was gonna die with Wrath. Oh, it was so sweet. Oh, because Wrath forgot that she made this deal. Like, let's see if I could play Wrath, because I play Wrath. What would Wrath sound like? I don't know. Maybe she's got like a British accent. She's very, I don't know, reserved. She doesn't like to talk to people, except for Scorch. Yeah, but Wrath is going to die with Centrum Annorum in the 9 years, and she forgot about it until Mortem, you reminded her. So she listened to the podcast. Was like, oh, cinders. I'm going to die. Then I need to tell Scorch. So she told Scorch, and Scorch was like, well, I'll die with you,
Mm-hmm.
Which, yeah, I mean, it's just a unique thing that we can do just out of character, right? It's just a unique thing to do with a character, is to know that your character is going to have an end. Instead of it being like the end of a campaign, you can have as many campaigns as you want. And maybe you'll die before then. Maybe you'll come back a bunch of times. But, if you wanted to, you could have your ending be the same as Centrum Annorum.
Yep. That way you have a due date of when to retire them. Because there are so many other characters to play.
It's true.
So many fun characters.
So looking back at our stories, what have been some of your favorite moments that you see in your mind, maybe that you remember? I remember Zerant when I knew I could trust you. I remember that so clearly, and I can't wait to draw that. And I think I talked about that last time a little bit, so I'll do a different one. But I remember dispelling magic on Toxidol.
Oh yeah.
Over and over, and
I remember those times we did that as well.
Wanting, she wanted to hurt him because Elena's gone through a lot, and she's not always a good guy, and she's trying to be a good guy. That's part of her story, but she wanted to hurt Tox, so she kept dispelling magic, and it kept giving him exhaustion levels. And then it was finally like, hey, whatever it is that we're doing, it's not working. Tox is slowly dying, and this black ooze is stuck in him,
Yeah, for context, I believe this was after they tried to put Tox in a magic circle.
Yes, right after. Yes, he was in it. Tried to
punish
him.
Toxidol maybe's an Eldritch Horror, allegedly. Of course, these are unfounded claims. The only evidence is, this black ooze and, abyssal influence that just follows him around.
Maybe an identifier or a legend lore here and there too, but
but that's all faked.
Oh,
like the moon landing.
Of course, that's right. It's not real.
So, in all seriousness, he has this black ooze. They wanted to get it out because it was making him super hungry. They tried to put him in a magic circle. It didn't work. And they tried to do other things, and it all didn't work. Eventually, they settled on Dispel Magic, which removed the ooze, but it comes back after some metabolic effort. So, poor Tox, he's just there, in the corner, terrified of whatever they're trying to do, because he doesn't know, he's dumb. And she's just there causing whatever, doing whatever she's doing, causing whatever pain she's causing. And Dispel Magic made the ooze disappear, but it gave him a level of exhaustion. So once they did that 5 times, he was comatose.
Yep. So that's a memory that I just remember. Not that I was maybe not proud of it, because wait a second. That was not a proud moment. I have a lot of way better moments, but that was an example of something that goes on. We have these adventures, encounters. So what have been something that sticks out for you guys?
Oh yeah, I remember the adventure with Ixar and Pocket.
Pockets! Oh gosh. That was so good. That was amazing.
It was amazing. So, Ixar is an Abishai he's an Abishai, right? They're devils, they exist in the 9 hells, and sounds so terrible to say. But, yeah.
It is terrible to say.
He was playing with Pockets, who was his little girl.
Okay, she's like 6, right? She comes in, she's got little pigtails of her little red hair that are sticking out. She's got freckles all over. She's wearing, I think, pink overalls, and she's got yellow rubber boots with googly eyes that are glued onto them. So
big old lollipop.
Yes, a red lollipop that she has in her mouth, and she just like kind of walks around, and then like they're like, "What's your name?" Pockets. And her mouth is full of sharp teeth.
Yeah,
razor sharp piranha teeth.
So, she was flying on Ixar's back, and then as a joke, I said, I made a post that said "to the 9 hells," and then Ixar plane shifts to Avernus with Pockets, this little 6-year-old freaking girl.
Which I was like, send it, and you were like, really?
Yes, send it, please.
Yes.
And I end up getting peer pressured into doing it, and it ends up being really awesome.
It was so epic. Like
they met a chain devil who was really bad at darts.
Yes, because you rolled poorly, I think it was.
I don't remember if I rolled for it or not.
I remember the cafeteria and the food, and she ate it so fast, and he had to get some more, and then she wanted to go flying. She doesn't speak well, so she said like "wee" a lot.
Wee.
And
it's a big ol' explosion.
Yes, the wall of like fire, 9th level. Is that what it was in the volcano that you sent off?
Yeah,
and there were definitely.
It was an extinct volcano, so it was just a big old crater. And Ixar, was like, you know what, that sounds really lame, so I'm just gonna make it erupt. And then he made it fucking erupt.
And there were totally people inside.
There may have, but that's a bad. We don't care. We don't think about that. We just think about the awesome freaking explosion.
Yep, she was 100% a level 1 character. I didn't even know what race she was when I brought her in. I literally just was like, I'm gonna bring in an adorable little kid. And then the guy who plays Scorch was just like, she's a this.
And Carnotaur, I think.
And I Googled it, and I was like, whoa, that is exactly what she is. Like, they appear as children, and it's like the last thing that you ask is like, where's your mommy and daddy? And those are like your last words because they eat you.
Nice.
So I was like, yes, that is what she is now. So it was canon.
I looked it up, and a Carnotaur is a dinosaur. Or a Carnotaurus.
It wasn't, I don't remember what it was. It was
we'll
a creature.
Have to through the logs.
Yeah. We'll find that. That was a good.
Yeah, that was so nice. Just being peer pressured.
I know. You were like, wait, really? Because we weren't like for the listeners out there, we've only just recently started talking to each other. We've been playing as friends for months, but we only like heard each other's voices for me at least, like talk to you guys for the first time, just a few weeks ago. So, it's been fun to not know anybody when you start playing this game, and then you start developing friendships and trust, and here we are.
Yep.
Mortem, what are some of your favorite memories, if you've got one?
Preferably about strength. What am I talking about? They're all about strength.
No, they're not.
Oh, what do you mean? Don't lie to me.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of like moments that stand out. At least for Mortem, one of the things that I remember doing for him is the whole putting the bad guy at the time, freezing them, and then going through that whole experience.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That was unreal.
It was.
That was within the first few days that I knew you guys. Like, I had entered the inn, and was like, what is this monastery? It has so many rooms. It was so thought out. And there was a cryo chamber. Is that what it is?
Yeah, there was a
Yep.
cryotherapy chamber.
Cryotherapy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and then he exploded that, and then lost his arm because of it.
Mm-hmm.
He has no arm now.
And now he just has a mechanical one. That is pretty cool.
But don't worry, yeah, he has a mechanical one.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't think I will ever really upgrade, because it seems to be working just fine as is.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that uniqueness that you play where he went over a threshold of damage and you made it where it was like a serious injury, like a critical injury, so he lost his arm. Why'd you choose the arm, like the left arm?
I think I rolled for it, to be honest. Back then, I don't remember why I chose that arm specifically. Oh, I bet you I know why. I think it was that because that was the arm that he used to explode the cryo tanks.
So he threw it in with his left arm and then it.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense to me. And if that's not what it was originally, that's what it is now.
There you go. Well, we'll find out when we go back and we record that moment. That's a cool moment.
It was.
Winston's had some moments recently that aren't quite public yet that have been really memorable.
Oh yeah.
Of a few different things.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really liked those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Winston more recent. I feel like one of the first Winston becoming actually Winston is one of the first ones that I would say I remember.
Oh yeah, I do.
Because that was the same. Yeah, that all happened in the same day, basically. Winston came back to reality. Mortem lost his arm during that whole day.
And that was
wild.
That was so cool. I wish people could understand what we go through, but you have to experience it for yourself if you've never done it. We go into a server and it's words on a page, like it's literally words on a page, but our minds go to these places. So I see things happen, and even if we're in the same chat and we're going to like a different place, it's all of a sudden like that chat is no longer there anymore. That we're now in Barovia, right? Or we're in a a casino,
the monastery.
The monastery. Yeah, like just in a matter of words, like I have these images of all these places that we've been to that are built up that like the manor, for example. Like I can see the manor, all parts of the manor. And so there's a layout for it, but the more that people actually play it and come in, then you realize, oh, okay, like the table is here, it's silver, there's chairs all around it. Okay, to the left is a relaxing room, and there's snow up there, and there's a dark lake below, and all these places that we've created with our imagination.
Yeah, it feels so good to be a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like, it's only a matter of time before someone goes in, they see the pile of gold, they're like, ooh, money. And they just start taking things, and I'm like, hey, I put that there. That was me. They're stealing from me.
And then they
that's right.
take it out of the manor, and then it disappears into dust.
Yep. Can't leave the manor. Yeah, so for anyone who wants to join the server right now, that's where you'll start. There's a Silver Queen's Manor that is out in a dim landscape. There's currently a bunch of rectangular portals that are open, resembling screens, you could say, where anyone could walk through with any reality that they've had. So don't feel like you need to come up with something super original. You know, if you're in a campaign right now that is, Curse of Strahd is a great example. You can have your own backstory of Barovia that's going to be different than me, Elena's backstory of Barovia. And that's just the greatest way to put it, is that there's going to be crossovers because there's so much out there and everyone has a different story and a different way of telling their story. So we didn't want to limit that.
Right, yeah. It doesn't even have to be a D&D character. You don't even need a character to join the inn. Like, you can just make you, like, literally just a self-insert.
Yeah. Yep. Just walk in.
Yep. Yep. The point is just to make some good, role-playing conversations, and then, if there's conflict and you like conflict, awesome, like that'll happen. But you don't have to. Like, you can just be chill. Like, there's a life cleric that came in this week who's super chill and doesn't want to hurt anybody. And it's like, that is unique because, maybe in a campaign that person wouldn't be a good person. Like, it could be like, I'm not a good person. I mean, like, depending on the campaign. Desirable, right? Where it's like, no, we need help fighting Tiamat, whatever, right? And so you'd want a group of adventurers that are all for combat, when maybe you want to play a character and see what your story building could be of maybe someone who used to fight and they don't fight anymore and they don't want to fight, or they just never wanted to fight, and they come to the manor and they come to the monastery and they meet people, and you can play out that character how you want to.
Right, yeah. We're not going to criticize anyone based on how they play their character. Like, we're here to have fun. We're here to make stories. We're here to role play, and it's just the way we like it.
Yep.
Like, there's no grading system. You're not going to take a test on this.
Yeah, maybe in Loxodol, but no.
Yes, in Loxodol, you have to study for your role play exam. How can you improv?
Roll for performance. That's right. Yeah.
Man, I think every time we talk about Loxodol, it just becomes more and more of just a dystopia.
It's so chaotic.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I can't wrap my brain around it. Every time that someone goes in there and like something more happens, it's just like one more little, I don't know, like layer of the onion getting pulled back of like, this is what Loxodol is about. It's like, no, we still don't even know what it's like really about.
Yes, but we're finding out one layer at a time.
Yeah, I want to know what.
Peel back the layers of the onion.
I want to play swordball.
So you can. Like, I actually have a character planned for that.
Is that the one that I watched with Cass? We were in the casino on the like 7th floor.
Who were they? What did they look like?
Never mind, that was Dodgeball. We watched Dodgeball.
Okay, tactical dodgeball.
Tactical dodgeball.
Yes.
Which
tactical
was
dodgeball.
Insane to think about because I love dodgeball. And to
dodgeball, but with flashbangs.
Yeah, and with like magic, like if you played dodgeball with magic, like what? that's the other thing with this server. You can bring in whatever idea that you want that maybe you couldn't do somewhere else, but you could do it here because you can.
Yeah, the winning play was somebody casting a spell scroll of Bigby's hand.
Yes.
It was amazing. Like, in what other server can you say, yeah, we played dodgeball and the winner did so by casting Bigby's hand?
Mhm.
Like, I had so much fun writing that. Oh my god.
That was so cool. And I was freaking out as I was like watching it on the screen in the casino. And I was yelling in I think I was yelling at Mortem. Sorry, Mortem. I get really into competitions.
Yep, he was definitely right there just listening.
Sorry.
And he was thinking about other things at the time, but was there to watch and think about other things.
Moral support.
Yeah. Well, no, I remember you were trying to find us because Cass and I were up on the 7th floor and you didn't know which floor we were on. Oh, and then you cast sending. And then, no, you did show up at one point because then we went to Barovia. That's right. We went to Barovia. We plane shifted right back.
Yep. And during that time, Mortem went to a wedding that was not his own, but was some random other person's.
Yeah, you just walked into some random people's wedding.
Just like, huh. Well, I am dressed for a wedding. I'll go see what the other floors are, and then checks out a few of them, and then one of them was a court hearing or something like that. And
it was a theater of a court hearing in Loxodon.
Wait, it was the theater? I thought it was like an actual court going on.
What kind of court of law would exist inside a freaking
I don't
casino?
No, that's what I thought it was. I was like, this is Loxodon where they bet on actual court cases.
Yeah, they bet on court hearings to see like if they would be seen as guilty, innocent, or death. And if it were death, they would bet on how long it would take.
Oh man. Okay.
Like sometimes they're just shot on the spot.
Oh. Come to Loxodon.
Yeah, so Mortem was like, that's making me feel sad and whatnot. So he left and was like, you know what? I'm just going to go back to the wedding because that seems fun enough for now. And then he went to the wedding and listened to some people and found out that there's the thing in Loxodon, which he
talk about the thing.
I'm only going to talk about the thing. I don't know what the thing is yet, but
the thing doesn't officially exist, and for the purposes of law, this conversation never happened.
Yeah, for the purposes of law, this conversation never happened.
Redacted.
For legal reasons, we don't know each other.
Yeah. Yep, we've never spoken at all.
Oh my gosh, ever.
So Mortem knows that it's something. What it is, who knows?
Who knows?
Some people know, but we'll see.
Oh my gosh. I just realized how cool this is once we start getting these stories out and people start reading them, they get to go back to these places and say, I do want to put in the 2 keys to go to the top floor of the casino, right? Like, you've both created these worlds that are revisitable, right? Like, it's going to keep adding lore and more.
Yeah.
Which is so cool. And we all know it because we all see it every day. Like, we know, like, it exists in our minds for sure. And we just want it to exist in others as well.
Yeah, and I think that's what everybody likes about this, is that they're stories that we're writing together. And the story only ends when everybody decides it's time for it to end. Like, lots of shady fucking stuff goes on in Loxodon. So, what's on the top floor? like in any reasonable place, it's probably like a storage room where like things are stored. But in Luxor, it could be fucking anything.
Yep.
I think it's there's a lot in the basements, and that'll be really fun to get that animated, the dinner scene that we had, because then it's
Oh my god, yes, the
place.
dinner scene with Dora Toya.
Dora Toya made a reappearance this week. I was like, is it her? I went back and looked at that.
Yeah, I actually went
exact
back and looked.
thing.
I actually went back and looked at the name. I was like, you know, this is the same person. Let's do it.
Yep. Which was wonderful.
Man, I want to talk about what Winston's doing right now, but I can't.
Me too. It's so
I feel like I can't right now. Oh.
What?
Yeah.
You
Mortimer,
too.
Mortimer and I are doing secret stuff in DMs.
I love it. I love it. I love mysteries.
Yep.
It's so good.
We're not doing anything weird. We're not like, you know, plotting the fall of the monastery. No, we're not.
No. I have an idea of what you're doing, but it's really exciting to know, like, your characters do stuff outside of things, and I just love that creativity. Like, it sparks so much in me to try to be better and to try to like grow. And I think that's what other people see too, is they see these storytellers, and it could be anybody, you know, it could be one person that they're like, wow, I really like how you did that, and now I want to do that. And so we help like grow each other, like we're all growing. You guys.
Yeah, I love you guys.
Yep, there's gonna be a new adventure soon for all four of us to do. Probably.
Oh, yeah?
Well, we'll see.
I freaking love our stories.
I know, right? They're awesome.
Like, oh man, you know, like I'm just in this whole other world in a way, you know. It's like seeing, I don't know how to describe it. It's like binge watching a show that you love, but you're part of the show and you're able to change what scenes happen.
You're binge watching your own show as you make it.
Yeah, like you are, and then like I put myself in the shoes of Elena, and I have her backstory, so I understand like what she's gone through, what she's going through, and I try to do that with lots of any character that I play, you know. And it's so good in a way. It's like healthy, you know, because then you experience things that you don't normally get to in real life. Like or that you just won't yet, you know, you won't for a time, maybe, you know. So like, yeah, like death is one of those big ones where like death happens, or I brought up last week, you know, Elena killed someone, and it was like, what would my character go through? This is like the first time killing somebody, like truly killing somebody with the intent to like finish them, and felt like she felt like she finished them completely, you know. And like, what would that feel like? And then going and killing again, you know, and she killed more people. which in D&D you don't play that out really, where you're like, okay, we're gonna go fight some bad guys, oh great, and then like you kill them, like everyone's dead, you save the day, and then you go to a tavern and it's like, all right, now you go for a long rest at the end. It's like you wake up the next day and then it's the next session, which is a week later, and all those feelings are gone. It doesn't feel authentic in a way. Yeah, so we try to take our time and actually like process it. Like Mortem, you came to me when I killed after I went on a mission, and I remember you saying like, tell me about it, tell me what happened. And I looked at you and was like, right now, and you were like, that's what it says on Google.
Yeah, because what was it, shock or something like? Yeah, because it was like, what do you do when someone's in shock? Okay, do these things. Okay, I'm gonna try this.
Yep. And we learned things through this that I could totally do this in a real situation with somebody now, right? Because I've experienced it in a way. I've experienced this moment, these high stake, crazy outlandish moments, and learned how to keep my cool. And yeah, so you asking her to process the feelings and what happened was also unique, because usually in D&D, most times you don't have the time to explain what happened. You just say, I explain what happened, in those many words.
Yeah.
But for that one,
like to relay that information.
Yeah. It's like, all right, I tell you everything. It's like, no. Like, how would your character actually say this, which then it makes it from a totally different point of view. Like, I was explaining how Winston and I went into this area and we were trying to be stealthy, and we both took down the guards, and I tried to do it quietly, and then there were more guards, and then eventually there was a fireball, and like there were like, yeah.
Yeah. It was a whole experience.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And for better or for worse, I put a lot into Elena. I put a lot of heart and emotion into her. And
Yep. I feel like all of us have put that much into our characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I really like what I have with Toxidol and for Srant.
Yeah.
They're
both awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, same for me and Mortem. Winston and Mortem.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, last night was crazy playing my cleric. Oh, my cleric. She did not want to die. That was so helpless. I felt so freaking helpless.
I know.
Oh my gosh. It hurts
Yeah,
so bad, you guys.
You pissed off the two strongest people in the
for
monastery.
Sure. It was definitely,
Yeah.
I mean, I was also trying to be like, I can't meta this. I don't know that, for example, I don't know that Winston isn't gonna take as much damage as I think he's gonna take, right? So I was like, okay, I was debating whether or not to bite you first or hit Zaranth first, but you were visible and Zaranth was not. And so I was like, while I'm holding Zaranth's tail, I'm gonna go ahead and inflict wounds on him, because I know that he'll probably attack me and then he'll become visible.
Oh yeah, something to note is that you could have attacked Bigby's hand as well. Like, you can force the spell to end if you kill it.
Well, dang it.
Yeah.
Like that.
Well, Yeah, but at the same time, your character might not have known that at the time. So
Yeah, that is true. Bigby's hand isn't terribly. I don't see Bigby's hand used as often as it should be.
No, yeah, it's
Like-
fantastic on low.
Like a wizard with Bigby's hand just suddenly becomes like God.
It's like super strong.
Yeah,
I'll have to
freaking
prepare that spell.
I love how my favorite part about Bigby's hand is it just completely shuts down an entire play style. Like, oh, you're approaching me?
Yeah.
Do you have 28 strength?
I know. And I couldn't cast any spells to leave because Winston was right there.
Yep.
I was like, oh no, she's gonna die. I'm going to die. I am going to know. And yeah. Yeah, little window into Leora's life, you know. Like, dang, you guys. Oh my gosh. That's yeah.
Yep. If Winston didn't have morals, he would have killed her. Just outright there, right then and there.
And at least I got everything off of your back. Except for the traveler's clothes.
Except for the necklace. The necklaces, yep. Yep, she has the holy symbol of the silver flame. And she has a necklace with 2 rings on it and a vial of blood.
Why does she have that vial of blood? I gotta know. Like, there has to be some practical use. Like, on top of Strength being like a paranoid asshole. Like, there had to be a reason why. Like, she can't just say, oh yeah, this reminds me that I'm mortal. Like, I would have believed that, but the religion doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense for the religion.
So I brought her in to show off a little bit of how the mechanic works, where you can injure and heal. That was the only reason why I really brought her in. I was thinking, I knew that she wasn't going to beat you guys ever. That wasn't a part of the plan at all. I was not expecting Bigby's hand though. That was unexpected. And then it got bad. So she's a vampire. So yeah, I mean, you know, you have an idea of her religion. And when she started casting a spell, it started to glow, and then Winston countered it, and it stopped glowing.
Okay.
So
I think I know what
Ranth would know, because what's his intelligence?
20.
That is an arcane focus.
Okay, yeah. I figured. I should have just smashed it on the spot. Like, it was worthless blood.
Oh.
Yeah, when I said that I was going to cut out any holy symbols, it's because I wanted to get rid of arcane focuses.
Yep. And
like,
that's
no spellcasting for you. Stupid.
That was why I was describing she has 2 necklaces. You know, which one are you grabbing? And then Winston grabbed the silver flame one. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, at least that sword should sell for good money.
It doesn't do anything, it just looks different. But you have a wooden you have a wooden box with clown engravings on it. Oh my gosh.
With clown engravings on it, and you don't.
I don't. I'm so sad. Like, that's the thing, is like, this is canon now. This is canon of her story. Like, she comes to the manor and this happens. Oh man. Yeah, I played her. I mean, I could get into details of her, but I don't know if I should, because that's...
Because she might get pulled back into the manor.
That's spoilers. Yeah. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. There are other people out there that know her story, though, that if they are listening at any point, Catcher, for example, knows all of her story. So, yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing too, is like everything that we bring in, it can come back around. You know, like Ixar and Pockets. That could totally happen again, right? Like they could totally go on
Right,
another
yeah.
adventure if we wanted to, because they exist now in the world and they have made a friendship and they could just come in whenever.
Yeah, Ixar still is Saranth's sugar daddy. Like
Yes.
Saranth regularly talks to Ixar because Ixar does things that Saranth can't.
Mm-hmm.
Freaking wizards always thinking that they're on top of the world.
Excuse me, we are. Mages.
Winston would say differently.
Oh yeah, what would Winston say?
Winston would say that sorcerers are better than wizards.
Ooh.
That some people are going to get real mad about that.
Yeah, well, that's Winston saying that. That's not me.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point, though. Yeah, if you're going by magic user, wizards have the highest number of spells they can learn, right?
Yeah.
Sorcerers are
Yeah.
limited as they level up. They have to pick,
Yeah.
and then
They're
it's stuck.
so
And they
limited.
don't even get that many spells
Yeah.
to begin with. Like, they can do exactly 21 magic tricks. And if you ask them to do a 22nd, they cannot help you because they
Yeah.
only know 21.
Yeah.
6 cantrips and 25 spells at level 20.
Yeah. So, yeah, but it depends on what you're doing because sorcerers can also exchange their sorcery points and they can move their spells around, right? There's ways that they can be more effective. And
Like,
then,
yeah, they've got cool spells.
Yeah, but then there's also like, okay, like, well, what happens if they're fighting a barbarian, right? And like the barbarian is gonna just destroy them in a strength contest, like the AC might be higher on one. Yeah, it just that will.
Yeah,
That's an
they don't
ongoing battle.
They don't have wizard spells like Big B's hand to just say no. Like, even a 20th level barbarian can't get through a Big B's hand.
Yes. So yeah, magic is definitely more powerful, you could say. Which I, as Elena, have opinions on that. Magic in the world. Which has been nice to not think about it for a while. There was a time where it was really hard for her to even want to like learn spells or do anything. But yeah, Elena's been having a wonderful break.
A much deserved break. She's been through a lot, and she needs some time to just vibe, be chill,
just like exist,
Yeah.
like
we need another vacation, but like we're all together, and we're just like, yo, do you want to go to Loxodol? And then it's like, yes.
And then Mortem says no.
No, Loxodol is bad.
Yes. Like anywhere but Loxodol.
Oh, yeah. Yep. What's also great is we're able to take each other on these adventures and have different chances of being the DM and being the player, which being the DM is fun, but it does add a a level of, it's like you're putting on a new hat. Like you're thinking differently than you would if you were relaxing on this vacation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like in Loxodol when we were at the casino, it was so fun to just kick back and relax and have my character just breathe while Zaranth, you led us through that, and you had the waitress come up and interact with us as we were goofing off.
Yep.
More or less, and having that a real moment, which is really fun to do, like that we're able to do. We go out and we just have fun doing something rather than just sitting in the inn or the manor all day. Like we go and do things and we go on heists,
Yeah, steal things.
I can't believe I went along with that. Yeah.
I got an idea for another vacation we can do at some point.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm down.
I am so ready.
Yep, it'll be a wild one.
Hey. Wild. Emphasis on wild.
Yeah, emphasis on wild.
Well, yeah. I think Elena and Mortem are close to the end of their honeymoon. Or at the end, so
Yeah, I was like, they said they were gonna come back today, I believe.
yeah.
I still don't know where they are yet.
You're having a good time.
Mm-hmm. I was like, I know they're having fun, but what are they doing exactly? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's been nice to have that break. It's been good. But I miss Elena. I miss her so much. Just want to play the Silver Queen.
We need our Silver Queen.
Oh, thanks. What? You're sure you don't want Leora?
I mean, I could always use a combat encounter.
Yeah. If you guys fought her right now, it would be 2 rounds and it's over. And she'd be gone.
I could do it in one.
Oh, you could. You tried.
Prob-
Or well, I don't know what's your highest damage count or whatever.
I mean, I'm sure if Winston rolled really high on the damage, it might, but he has other ways of ending people quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wait, I don't really think. Okay, sorry. Side note, I don't think I rolled the right amount of dice for his Shadow Dragon Roar. I
Is it?
You're
might.
good. That encounter was slightly unexpected because I was just trying to show off that one feature, but then I realized that bite attack doesn't work on certain things. And so I was like, oh, frick. Winston's, well, I don't think it would have worked on Winston. But, it was like a learning thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
which, that's the other thing too, is anybody who comes in and they want to play, but they don't know a rule, or like something happens and it's like, oh, it should have been this, It's like, it's okay. It happened the way that it happened. We can, like, if there's something really big that we don't want as part of the story that we want to talk about, we can pause the story and be like, how do we want to do this, And really think about, the role playing part of it versus it just being, oh yeah, I've got a god character and I can kill anything with the snap of my fingers. So what's the point of combat,
Yeah.
Like, we don't want that. We want the RP. We want the
Mm-hmm.
moral dilemmas. We want the trying to outthink somebody. And what would you do in this situation,
Yeah, it's all super interesting stuff. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember there was a time in my life where I thought D&D was all cringe.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you've changed your ways.
Changed my way. I realized that the path I was going on was unoptimal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's definitely... Oh, go ahead.
Now it sounds like I'm talking about a video game strat. Yeah, the optimal method is to just do X, Y, Z.
Mm-hmm. Yep. There's a stigma, even still, of what D&D is to some people. They just think it's some evil thing that, oh, you're gonna get your soul sucked into like a warlock, and it's like, well, that does happen. But and there's jokes of like, you can put that you're a DM or you play D&D on your resume because it shows like good communication skills, and what really it does though, like, it's a game that's no longer seen as necessarily nerdy, but more as like a way to express yourself in ways that you just can't otherwise.
Right.
Like, to me, it's the most advanced game I've ever experienced. It's just so complex. Like, it's more than just a video game, because you can break that wall of the video game and go to someone else's video game and bring them in and their world and see what's going on and level up, and
Yeah, it's definitely a unique experience that you can't get with a lot of other things.
Yeah, it's essentially, you're in a book, you're in a story, and you're the hero of the story. And then you get to experience everything firsthand of what that story is about and where they go. And you meet people who have their stories too that they're holding on to. Like, they have their own book that they've been developing as they play this game. And yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just a bunch of people walking around with books. Creating stories.
Yep.
Yep. Some of my favorite moments have been the moral dilemmas, and actually being able to think them through, which you don't usually do in D&D, because it's the DM's like, hey, this is going on, it's your turn in initiative, what do you do?
It's your turn in initiative. Go kill.
Yeah.
Go kill something.
You're like, okay, I'll go kill.
Yeah.
And you've got your whole team telling you, go kill. Like, we can't hear each other telling each other what to do. You have to type it. And even then, like, it's whatever you want to do at the end of the day. So there are lots of moral dilemmas with characters, certain characters. There's also like other characters that I've played that don't have any morals, which is really fun and unique to put a spin on a different way of thinking. Like, what would someone with no morals do all day? It's like, well, they just want to be entertained. So they don't need to kill somebody to be entertained. They just look for something to get rid of the boredom.
Right.
Shout out to Alistar there. But I'm always rooting for the hero. Always rooting for the hero, which is why like I'm rooting for Mortem the whole time. It's like, come on, Mortem.
Define hero. Like, is hero just like the protagonist of the story, or
You're
like
right.
the lawful good paladin?
Sorry, the protagonist. The one that has to overcome so much at high sacrifice.
Right.
Which, you know, the antagonist can do the same thing. Which, you know, I root for Gorm too a little bit, you know. Maybe he'll become a protagonist, you know, in the end. Who knows?
It's possible. Well, yeah,
Possible.
That's getting into spoiler territory. So we'll see.
Yeah. But you know, there's like those people that you root for because they feel real, and Mortem for me for a lot of this has been like just that person that's like, yeah, you're rooting for them, and he's so kind and cares about others and is so patient with so many different people. And then you've got like Saranth and Tox, and they're so unique too. It's like you don't downplay them at all either. Like it's so unique and like I don't know how to describe it. It's like a big puzzle, and you need every part. Like you can't just have just one part because then it won't look good.
Yeah. Like, a puzzle with one part is just a picture. And
yeah. Uh-huh. It's like you need all these little pieces. And there's like, oh, like Elena's spell book now with the picture of her family, right? In the background, which is a chessboard in a way, where all these figures, these people in her life, there's Saranth and Winston and Mortem and Dante and Scarlet and her brother, and then there's like her, and then there's a missing piece next to Winston, and it's like there's so much here still there's so much that we've all developed and put these pieces together. I need to draw so many things.
Yep. Slowly getting there one at a time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, do we have anything else we want to discuss?
Nothing off the top of my head.
Let's see. I made a list. Subscribe. No. I don't know. I feel like we're different than a normal YouTube page or whatever you want to call it, channel, because we're not shoving our content down your throat. We're not making a video every single day. We're not yelling at you to hit the bell or whatever, you know, like making funny jokes about it or whatever. Like we're real people, and we know that you're a real person, whoever's listening to this, you know, and we're just like this all the time in the Discord. Like we're down to earth. We want people to be who they are, and we're trying to do that too. And we hide behind our masks, but in a way our masks free us from who we would be normally to someone else. Like, what would you say, Mortem? Like, what do you've said this before. How do you describe it? Oh, did we lose Mortem? Mortem.
Maybe.
What?
Oh, there you are. There you are.
Sorry, I'm here. I'm trying to stay awake at this point.
Oh.
I've had a long day.
Oh, sorry. Right, because you were up till super late. That was my bad.
It's okay.
I'll sum up
What
what
did
you
you
said.
say? What did you say? I
Oh,
totally blanked out for a minute.
so sorry. You should go to sleep. I was just saying about how like we're able to play with like our masks on, but in a way it's like taking a mask off.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because everyone in the monastery puts masks on, even though they're actually taking them off.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Like we can put more of like just like with any hobby that you love and that you put your whole heart into. This one is a unique one because it's with words and that you get to read them over and over. So you get to see your work. It's not just, you've built a car and it's like you look at that car and you're like, I remember every moment of making that car. We get to see our story written down, and that's part of us. Like, every word that we put out there is part of us, that we care, showing that we care about this game, we care about the experiences that we're going through, and that we want this. We want other people to have it too. So, yeah. Well, Mortem, if you could give us the outro, then we can let you go to sleep. Even though
Okay.
you don't need to sleep, Mortem.
Oh yeah. I'm choosing to. I'm going to choose to sleep. So, thank you everybody so much for watching. I was like, check out the YouTube and Twitter. We do have those. We're working on other ways of getting content out that might be faster than the main story that we're putting on YouTube. So more on that later. Yeah, come join the Discord. Join the living story is what I'm gonna say. Is what I'm gonna call it at the moment, because that sounds good. Because not necessarily a world; it's more of just a story that goes to different places. So come join the living story in our Discord. Yeah. Thank you for being here today. Have a great night. That's spelled with a K. And Memento Mori.
Memento Mori. Thank you for being here. So, Ranth, you gotta say it.
Goodbye.
Whatever. No, that's not it.
Come on, just say the one phrase at least.
Mori.
That's
Thank
gonna be
you.
Zaranth's goodbye when we're all dying at the end.
I
He's
don't
gonna
know
be
what
like,
his goodbye would be.
He's gonna
It would
be like,
probably be like,
goodbye. Like, I'm still here. That's gonna be the podcast. We're gonna die on the podcast. Watch that be a Monday. And then Saran's gonna be like the only one on the air.
oh my god.
He'll be like, well, so I'm still here. All right. Memento Mori. I'm ending the stream.
Yep, Memento Mori.